Dreamers Welcome Podcast.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast. We are back in the building, ladies and gentlemen. I go by CEO PESO, blessed and highly favored. Got some creatives in the building right now, man. Thank you. Nah, we can keep that effect in there now. Man, if y'all ain't seen the first podcast with my guy right here, man, it was very informal. It was very dope. This is somebody that I highly respect and I rock with. He's an amazing videographer, amazing writer, amazing creator in that world of film. I'm not just lying. I said a lot of that on the last podcast. But we here today. We about to talk about some new work that's coming up. Can you please introduce yourself?
All right. I'm Spencer Wolfe. I'm a director. You might know me from local music video shoots. And I'm here with my good buddy. This guy's responsible for me getting into film in 6th grade.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No. My name's Dylan McCrary.
It's straight to the apology. All right. Okay.
My name's Dylan McCrary, and I play the character as Dad in Silhouette. And I was also co-writer and co-producer of it as well.
Nice. Yeah.
Guys,
we started this whole thing up.
Thank y'all for coming. Thank you for wanting to talk about your release of this on the platform. Sent me the trailer. I forgot to look at the date on that, but you sent me the trailer a few months back. Right now, it's we ended off in August. Y'all been working on this shit for a minute.
We shot in February. First day was February, 14th or 10th or 12th or something.
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah, we shot pretty close in the winter. Had another snow. Shot during the snow. And then also, it was like 7 days shooting for like a 17-minute, nothing crazy. Just a short episode, like Goosebumps kind of, you know.
All right, so 7 days for 17 minutes. That was just the filming process, post-production and all that. How long was that taking?
Let's see. We finished filming we thought we finished filming everything in mid-March. I want to say March 14th. I want to put the number on it. And then we added a whole scene because of the age demographic. We had a test audience, and I'll tell you more about that later. But we felt, okay, it needs to be longer. So we added a whole other scene. We shot that early April. Then we went to Florida, met with his aunt who worked in Hollywood and as producer in a lot of big things. And she's a writer, and she watched it all.
God, she critiqued.
And she critiqued in good ways. Yeah. I was excited. I told her, like, look, don't pull any punches. Like, tell me right now. If it sucks ass, tell me why. I want to know.
Nah, you need that.
Yeah, but she loved every part of it. But there's a couple pointers. She's like, you need more of establishing. We need this shot. So we went back and we spent a day for one shot, and that was to make a whole sign, like a fake park sign, put on a tree. And
just let people know where we're at.
Yeah. So
she got attention to detail.
Yes. Yeah. She's a writer at heart, so that's what she's really good at. And so what it is we're doing a series called Night Terrors, and think of this as Goosebumps. It's a live action horror based episodic. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be what's an anthology. It's not like it's all in the same universe, even though it can be. We're not really sure how we want to do it, but every episode's new characters, new scares, and it's a little heftier, a little more intense against if you put it side by side of Goosebumps. So you got Goosebumps. You know,
Goosebumps was a lot of nostalgia there too. Like, we really tried to like go for that.
Yeah,
I got the privilege of seeing a little bit of it. I don't think Goosebumps had guns in that shit or nothing.
No, no, they didn't. So
it's definitely a different.
So perfect. Okay, so that scene was one of the scenes we added.
Okay.
We actually did add that.
Yeah, so. Okay, so how this story goes, the story is about Haley and her dad who live on a small little farm in the country. You call it a farm, and they are hunted by a skinwalker. That's a trending topic. We didn't really try to do any let's make a huge twist and change the game. And this, we were just sticking to what was trending at the time to make this first episode of the series, Silhouette, stand out and just have an interest already kind of developed. Because TikTok has kind of showed us, TikTok, man, it shows a lot.
Ideas.
It's
like you said, what's trending, what's going on.
And Skinwalkers has kind of been off and on, but it's not one of those trendy topics where it's here and then it's gone. It keeps coming back, especially around the fall time. So we're like, let's make something about Skinwalker, add our own little twist to it, and that's the first episode. And
that was a good idea to go off that, like just observing what.
Didn't want to get too trendy. Didn't want to get too confident. About let's do some M. Night Shyamalan twist and blow everyone's bridges.
Your own.
Let's just keep it safe and do something that people are interested in. And it was as simple as simple gets. So
it's
when the camera's cut, I'm gonna tell you what we spent on it. I ain't gonna tell you.
No, I got you. So why pick that genre of like the horror aspect?
Well, we come from a background of horror. Our muse is Halloween. It's coming up, fall time. The Burr months are coming.
Yeah.
And
A little bit.
that's how we met. So if you remember on the last podcast, if you guys tuned into that, he was the one that got me into film in 6th grade. Remember I told you about the story that I was sitting there and some of my classmates were making these films.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know. I thought I wanted to be Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. I don't know. But I wanted to be in something, and he was making it, and he was the one. And ever since then, that developed to my love for film. And he's been in and out of the film world, and he has other life obligations. So I went off. I went to film school. I did all this, everything else. And now we're just kind of like coming back. We always hung out. We always kicked it for since
forever,
2003.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
the horror element has always been there.
we go to haunted houses. That's
no
like our
matter what.
yeah.
I mean,
So that was just like y'all thing in general. Like y'all just both was in the horror.
Halloween.
Yeah, that was
October,
it.
Like the weather changes and makes you feel different.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
air's crisp. Walk outside.
We get hot.
It smells good, and I get hot easy. Yeah, I don't like the summer.
People got many different reasons.
Yeah, there's a
for
lot of
it,
reasons,
yeah.
but and it's so funny because we both grew up being terrified of scary things. So like before I ever knew him, he was scarred from older brother
I don't
scaring
know what
him.
it was.
And I'm similar.
I was terrified of everything.
One
you could
day,
just name it. I was just scared to death.
Yeah.
It was like a huge phobia.
Terrified of everything, but then ended up loving terrifying
Yeah.
Because I worked at a haunted attraction once.
things. Okay.
Yeah.
And I got to scare people, like, whatever. I put on a mask and scare people. I'm like, oh, I kind of like this. So I changed ever since then. And I'm like, man, I love October. I love it now.
That was it.
But I used to dread it.
Yeah, we were always afraid our brothers would
It's
get on us.
funny how
I was scared.
It's funny how October just became like the perfect scary month. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, you got Thanksgiving, which is whatever, then Christmas, December, but October is just that like perfect in between.
And you know what's cool about filming the
I feel so
horror
good, too.
is that it makes it feel like it's always that time of year. So we're filming this horror movie and it's like cold and there's snowy scenes and then there's like hot. One of those days was hot as hell. It was in April, but it ended up being like 86 degrees. He has to act like it's cold still. And he has to wear his coat.
That's the bipolar weather we got.
Yeah.
We did-
And then like the week prior to that, it was snow on the ground in March or something or somewhere around there.
That's that
we
hot
filmed that
weather.
same week.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
and bro, and we was like, how the fuck are we? It was, how the scenes be there, and it's like, by the way, Fitnall's coming out, season 1 out now, but it's like, damn, it was just like cool, nothing out. Then it's just like fucking snow, like 3 inches on the ground.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is that it worked perfect for us because it was a flashback scene.
Oh, yeah,
So it looked like a whole nother time of year that we
Yeah.
just filmed this, and we just filmed
that
2
was-
days.
that was clutch.
Oh yeah, I was even hoping. I was
That
like,
worked out so well.
I was like, I really hope it snows because then we can make it really look like it's a whole throwback to another time of year.
We had to hide it once, too. That sucked.
Oh yeah,
Hide it.
we had to hide the snow because we were one of the days we were filming inside. So what you saw on the trailer, right, when it was outside and it was kind of gloomy, and that was the first day of shooting all that scary
Right.
stuff. Then we had all this slower dialogue scenes for the beginning of the film. The next couple days later, and there was snow, like 6-7 inches of snow on the ground. And how do we hide this? And we closed most of the windows. We just never shot out a window.
Okay, I was like, how the hell you hide?
So
snow?
when they're talking right there and he's talking, that was snow all outside. But it actually helped because it brought a lot of natural light
I was
in.
about to say it's bouncing off. So yeah,
But yeah,
Shouts
we
out
had.
to the-
If you look at some of them scenes in that particular scene where she's like waking up and standing up, if you look in the background, you can see some snow.
Man, I can't wait to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, before we go on, I want to ask you because I think this is a important question to me for real because you inspired him to get into the filming. What the fuck made you get into filming and doing all of that at your age when he saw what you was doing? What even got you into that?
I don't know. I mean, I think it was mostly just getting into horror movies. So my older brother, he played video games. He played like Resident Evil.
Classic.
Scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, get them zombies.
That shit was scary as shit. I ain't gonna
Get
lie.
them zombies off the screen, Like, I kind
Scarred.
of blame my brother a little bit.
I get
Which
it.
it's kind of a blessing now. But so I finally overcame my fear. And I got over it. And I'm like, I really like horror now. So I'm going to steal my mom's camcorder and make movies now. And she was pissed.
Straight to it. Yeah, I would.
Oh, yeah.
That shit costs a lot of money. I mean, it costs a lot of money now, but back then.
She still tells me I owe her a
You had to
camera.
actually look through.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I had
it
one.
was-
You had the red, yellow, white cord to plug it into the
been the
VCR.
VHS one.
Yeah, yeah.
was a
Oh
Oh
yeah.
man, dude. And then it went mini
Yeah.
DV, and we had the
Yeah.
mini DV tapes, and then you had the FireWire cable.
Yep.
FireWire.
Yeah,
had to get the special plug-in on your computer, or use
mini
Windows
disc.
Movie Maker 2.0.
The mini disc. Oh my god.
Ever since then,
right,
my
yeah.
mom-
and then it was Pinnacle Pro Studios in 2007.
Man, I was cracking everything. I never bought nothing real. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I think Windows was free. Pinnacle was not free, but I took that from my high school.
Windows was just so. I mean, we was making.
It was like
work,
Windows.
That was straight just
GarageBand.
cut.
Oh no,
Yeah.
GarageBand's Mac, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like similar, right? It's like the basics.
The beginner. Yeah, the beginner. Or like Logic. I think Logic. But I'm in Final Cut too.
Yeah, I'm a Final Cut guy.
Yeah,
A lot. It sucks
because
I started
Full Final Cut.
Well, I just started. Y'all, man, there's 7 different. Yeah, it's funny because I work with a lot of CGI guys now. Like more just recently, for other music artists, and they all use, I think it's Premiere or whatever, and they have this like, oh, just send me the Premiere file. I'm like, oh, I can't. I use Final Cut, and I just one of those guys that I would have this learning curve to learn something else, and all creative ability would just disappear. And I'm over here thinking like how to add 1 + 1 again. You know?
Did you cross over to Premiere?
No, I never have.
You still on Final Cut?
I'm Final Cut, the app form, dude. I have so many plugins for it. But I use Final Cut. So far, it's doing me good.
I ain't gonna hold you. Like the only reason I didn't like Final Cut no more is, I remember my man's in LA had told me like Premiere was like, bro, you gotta work gotta work with Premiere, whatever the case is.
Yep.
And then Final Cut had made the new one, and it started looking like iMovie.
Yeah, I think
I
they just
couldn't
trying
maneuver,
to
like-
Yeah, I think they're trying to simplify. So instead of spending like was it like 1,500, 2,700 something like crazy
Stole it.
for back in the day, right?
I got it from Full Sales.
Oh
Tools.
yeah. See, I got it too, and then like the app now is like $200, $300, some shit. But like it's still, they took a lot out of it, so now you got to go back and buy everything out individually.
That's
but
where
they
they make that
simplified
money.
the way it looks, so like it really is similar to.
But I like the shit that didn't look like. So when I went to
Yeah.
Premiere, it reminded me of like, it's kind of like the old Final Cut. You know, it just sucked.
It just
you
looks
gotta
like
stick to it. Yeah.
more scientific looking.
But
Yeah.
So, all right. So back to the film. So what was like? I say within. Was it 7 days straight, or was it 7 days sporadic?
It was sporadic, and they weren't all full days. Like one time we were there for a couple hours because we needed to get some inserts. Like I realized when I cut this together, I need a close up of that door handle. I just felt it. I need a close up of the door handle, and I'll come back in and just relight everything and get that door handle at close up. And then we did like some of the dog shots later because you know it's like just because it's hard. An actual dog animal. You know, and the girl was only 2 days. She only had 2, so we wrapped everything up and got them done. We did the hardest day first. The most physical day that we had a lot doing. Yeah, around the cold and everything.
So just for the people who need to understand this, like what y'all had like on paper and in y'all head when y'all actually got on set and really started filming everything, was it a huge difference of like shit? This is not how like we gotta change this to this now.
Did we run into anything like that? Like where something just really didn't look the way we wanted it to? Because I know
everything.
the
looked the way it
silhouette
was
shot
supposed
was
to.
exactly. The front porch was like perfect, exactly.
That was the main thing we wanted to get across is silhouette.
The dialogue scene, like I call it
that
the
to look
dialogue
great.
scene. It's like the heaviest scene where like there's just a lot of just
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the dialogue scene. Was the second day we shot, and that was a very easy day. I think we shot that in 4 hours.
I know we like at least changed the script and like, well, I mean, of course,
Yeah.
but we
So,
did
yeah,
change
there's a
the
few
script
changes.
quite a bit.
So
But,
I like to give-
as far as the
yeah.
look of it.
So like I
we were
told
pretty
him,
much right there together with it.
exactly. Well, like I told you and Charlie, I'm like, hey, look, like as long as you get this point across, like, hey, as long as you mention these things, say it how you want it. So I like to give my actors and actresses things to just like obviously if there's something. They just run it by me. Just we'll do it on set, and if it feels right, it feels right. And sometimes it makes dialogue feel a little more natural because I can struggle getting into the head of all the different characters, and I start writing the same for a lot of the same character.
Right.
You know, I can't do that.
Get them a little improv.
They get a
how
little
they
more.
would project it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that a lot too, though. Like we actually sometimes when we got a script, it's like, hey, this is what's going on. You know, sometimes come out dope, but make sure you hit the points.
Yeah.
As far as the location, perfect. Hey,
That's my crib.
That's
Really?
the property, the woods, the barn, everything. That's his house.
okay.
It
I
is,
mean, it definitely looked raw, like just
It's a whole set up there. I mean, gosh, we
The
used it
barn,
for a
like-
lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I love it.
So that was
Yeah, this
it
scary
was-
shit is really implemented to your life.
Yeah.
Like,
Look at that. Okay, you know that house call poster I just showed you?
yeah.
That's my house. Looks like Amityville Horror.
Okay, so y'all. Hey, so is that just like? I mean, I ain't gonna say y'all just be looking at things, like I want a crib that look like a movie or whatever, but
Kind of.
kind of like
Because I know I'm gonna use it. It's where I live.
Right,
Like,
that's
I'm
what I'm
gonna
saying.
use
You go
my
on this
house.
shit like, you know what? I could really use this if I just get it.
It's easy. All the equipment's there. I'm chilling. When we're done, I can just go to bed.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say.
like it.
My input was, I'm like, Spencer, you should really buy this house because it looks like a horror movie.
So it's like sometimes the purchase like
Yeah, we looked at it. I took you through it.
He's like, man, come with me to look at this house. I'm like, yeah, it's perfect.
Is that
It's perfect.
Yeah, you saw it's my background of my
like that
It's
shit
awesome.
look
Awesome
I love the
house.
color correction area.
Yeah.
With the one light on in the window.
Mm-hmm.
Attention to detail. Okay. So far as picking the actors and actresses, like you said, the girl doing her thing. Well, let me ask you this now, since we on camera. You didn't want to do the main role, but you end up doing it.
That was kind of
I
close.
think like kind of.
He didn't,
I've
but then
always
he
wanted
really
to
wanted
do stuff
yeah.
like this. I mean, I've always been like background characters, like Dylan McCrary, the professional background character, the guy playing pool.
Dude, seriously,
Or
he's
something,
in
you know,
so
like,
many.
I'm the
Oh
guy-
yeah.
The credit
I'm
at
the
like
guy
the fourth
eating
minute of the
chicken
scroll.
wings and-
Yeah, we got to
I'm
talk
like,
about the
man.
first short we did. He played like 6 different background characters in
Oh my
one
gosh.
scene.
And that's the way it's been
And it
ever
really
since high
looked,
school, too.
it looked so believable too.
It's been that way ever since high school.
Yeah.
Like I played 5 different characters for a school project. So I'm like, man, like I want to actually have some lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So you got tired of the background
I like decided
chicken
to grow
wing eater
there
number
and-
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So I mean, I like the outcome of it though.
Nah, you look dope though, for real.
Thank
What
you.
about
I
what about
appreciate
finding the girl? How'd you come across her?
That was going to be our biggest challenge because it usually is. Like, imagine you're writing a story and the main character that has to act scared and terrified of dying is like a young kid.
Yeah.
And so you're like, so the first thing you're thinking is like, all right, so you need someone with some kind of experience. And I do commercials for some local businesses in town, and some of which work at the local theaters and things. And they were able to cast someone, like ask some people. And it just so happened that her mom goes to the gym I work out at, and we're always like chit chatting. And I'm friends with her stepdad. We're always cool and kick it. And and I didn't even realize that. Like, oh yeah, our daughter, she acted in this play as Matilda. You know the movie Matilda,
Yeah.
and it's like adults are going to this play and spending $50 to watch this play, and she's doing it all week, every day, and she's the main person. Like, well, she has to be. And I'm
she
friends
gotta
with
be
her.
dope, yeah.
So I had her. She acted in a commercial when she was 10 years old. That I did. It was a horror commercial. It was for a real estate company. It was supposed to be about like all buying houses can be scary, and that was the whole thing. And she had to scream, and just the way her like mannerisms and everything she did was just that's really really good at 10.
Yeah.
And it's like her mind. When you go to direct someone and talk to an actor, usually you try to bring up like if you want someone to be sad. In layman's terms, if you want someone to be sad, you tell them, well, think about your dog. dying.
Your dog dying. Yeah,
So-
I swear,
so-
that's the go-to.
So when it comes to situations, you got to try to give them something that they can probably more than likely relate to, and they can't pull it out themselves. A lot of times they can, sometimes they can't, but sometimes they can't pull it out themselves, and you got to give them something to think about. And so you got to be vague, but just specific enough to where they can relate to it. So I'm like, how am I going to do this? 12-year-old girl? How do I know? How do I know? And I would say things, and I know exactly what you mean. And then she would do one take, and I'm just, what? Like,
shocked by
oh
it,
my,
yeah.
yeah. She's extremely talented. And Charlie Kurtner, extremely talented. This was her first actual like film. Aside from the commercial she acted in for me, this is her first film thing.
Man, I got her looking great. Like I said, her expressions and everything. Like it's so easy to just look through somebody like, oh, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And at that age, that's kind of critical. Well, she's the main character too,
Yeah.
so that's a very critical person y'all need to play that role.
Well, I mean,
She
go
helped
ahead.
me- she helped me out so much because, like I said, this is the
dope.
first role I've ever done with something like this, like that much dialogue. So, like, I she helped me like bounce off of her in a way.
That's
I'm
dope.
like,
Yeah.
God, like thank the Lord you're here.
Didn't we
She
do
is a
her?
beast.
Didn't we shoot her out first? Like we shot her.
And we did read through. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we did read
that.
through. We did rehearsals, and we did a bunch. Like I'm so like, hey, let's read it 10 times, and then we'll do our take. Then we'll hit record. You know, I try to do
Oh,
that.
so y'all doing like hella rehearsals right there on set before y'all even.
Yep, and correct it then.
Y'all getting conditioned,
and then
yeah.
that way you're not just rolling through tape because I roll tape, man, I'm old school. But you're
We're digital now.
rolling through because I use these C-Fast cars and they're like $500 a pop, and I'm like, man. And when I'm shooting at full quality, you got 7 minutes on each card, and then I was like, all right, we got to stop for a half hour, and I got to offload all this with that DIT they call it. DIT, but I have, I'm doing that stuff myself, and so I would just try to get takes once as much as possible, and that prevent running through all these different memory cards and filling them up, and then the worst case scenario, you got to start emptying them, and it's like, oh man, we got to empty 4 different cards. So rehearsal was great, and we did hers first, so then he can say his lines off camera.
Yeah.
To help kind of understand how she's going to say it. And he's getting into it more and more, so it gave me more practice. And then we got to him, and when we got to him, he nailed it. Like, we nailed it. We had to bring him in for ADR, automated dialogue replacement.
Let's go.
And
I'll put the abbreviations down there.
ADR is when you'd film, like, say we're filming an action scene and there's a helicopter in a shot and you got Bruce Willis yelling at somebody, hey kid, whatever. Well, you can't hear it, so they have to go back into a studio months later after the film's cut, and then they redo it in a mic in a studio.
That's what Hugh Jackman do for Wolverine.
Yes, like the grunts.
Yeah.
So that's ADR.
You gotta be on point with that too.
Yeah.
So you gotta like get back in that zone or whatever feeling you're showing on camera.
Luckily, the only thing you had to say was dad tax. So there's a scene where
Oh my gosh,
where
we did that. Well, the first one was like,
dude, I sound like yelling
Blow your
dad
ears
tax.
Yeah.
It's just the way that
I
we're
can't
do it
wait to
now
see the
because
whole
it'll-
shit,
it'll
man.
hurt people's
Yeah.
ears.
So
I said that a little
it was the
bit
very
loud.
intro of the movie, and the camera follows a giant bowl of popcorn, and he comes down and gives it to her because that's what she was wanting. I want you to, and it's like exposition. You don't really see it happen. She just says, "Hey," you just know that she wanted a bowl of popcorn, and he made it for her. But if here's your popcorn,
put the
and
dad tax on
you
it.
take you put the headphone dad tax.
I do that all the time.
So we had him say dad tax, and the first take was, for some reason, the energy was dad tax, and it was way.
It was like, blow
And
your
we
ears
needed
out.
a little dad tax. We needed that.
so yeah.
That was it.
Tone it down a little bit.
Tone that down.
And then, of course, all of the little sound design. So when I'm on set, I record only dialogue. Obviously, if other things get in there, and it can make my life easier if someone's running through the forest, and I don't want to put every footstep in there, you can just get a mic out. But for this film, we were trying to move quick because the crew is so small. We were trying to move as efficient as possible without worrying about other things. And so all I worried about was miking dialogue. So anytime where there wasn't talking and they're running, doing stuff, all that was added. I added every sound design, room tone, footsteps, clothing, rustle.
Yo, even the dog walking to the door.
I added those footsteps in. Yeah, all that was sound design.
bro.
The dog walking through the forest. Sound design.
Coming through
I did all that.
That's insane.
I spent like a month and a half on sound design and everything.
on a 17-minute.
Yeah.
And obviously, all the 17, like you said, someone's dialogue.
Yeah.
But this is what people need to hear.
It takes time.
Because it's not like you just watching it and like, oh, they had. I mean, I done seen shots where they would have like somebody walking in leaves and then the mic is right there. But you're actually scene by scene listening. All right, well, you watching like, okay, this sound, this door creak right here, whatever. You implementing it, and it has to be on point to where I think I seen when the door. That was very dope too. The door shut.
Yeah, and it was like so much to the point. Yeah, I added. Well, if you had headphones, it's just a scary.
I have so many.
Bass, but it's like So yeah, even to the point it's like, all right, so I got the door sliding, and then you have this door slam. I might have to find something different for that or do it myself. But then you kind of see the handle move, so I add a little jingle of metal there. Also, the dog collar the whole time. All that I added in later.
Man,
The pages turning just the fingers on the pages. When he was tying a shoe, you haven't seen that scene. He's like throws the shoelace down, just hits a chair. It's barely there. Little things you don't even think about it. You add it because I'm just. Yeah, I mean,
no, I mean that's the shit that like, I guess like the regular human eye won't notice it because to them they just watch something that's everyday life. But you know, to where you trying to take this to, You got to put in that detail.
And even sometimes you would even point out, like, man, you should, when I threw that ball, you should probably have the ball land at a distance. I'm thinking, well, you probably wouldn't hear that. Your phone's ringing. But then the more I'd watch it, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to add that little ball, hit the grass in the distance. And then I would mix it with a full surround sound, because I mixed this with 6 channels, like a full Dolby surround. Like a full surround sound. So when you get all that, you got 6 channels. And so I would have it, the space, land somewhere else. So as you're watching it, it sounds like it's landing over.
Yeah, like it's panning over. Like, man.
Yeah, it's actually really cool what Final Cut offers. It's kind of like Logic controls. If you have Logic, it's probably already in your Premiere and stuff too. But
yeah, more than likely.
It's like a create a space. They call it create a space, and it's a bubble, and you got a dot where you're supposed to be, and then you can move it anywhere in that area. That creates a 3-dimensional.
What is it called? Adobe Audition. That's what it is.
Okay, yeah.
That's the shit that's comparable to, like, you can go into Audition and probably make some sounds.
Okay.
I don't fuck with it though. But so as far as you said you had a small crew.
Yes.
Filming and everything.
Yeah.
So as far as what you handled on your own, how much was you handling on set compared to, obviously you was doing like a lot on the post editing and all that. So
yeah.
How much was you doing on set?
So on set, obviously we all chip in. So whenever Dylan wasn't really on the shot, he would help me move lights, gear around. Yeah. I had Cody Stiltner, Drizzy.
Yeah.
He was there, and he would hit like the start stops on, like, he'd slate or whatever for. So he would do a little bit of second AC, a little bit of sound mix. He would hit the record thing for us, because we had the boom on the whole entire time we had the boom on a C-stand. So the only time you see a walking, talking, moving is when he's lobbed up outside. Okay. And that was just because of our limitations on boom, and also not wanting to give someone $1,800 a day to come boom your movie. And because, like, sound is so important in the film, it's almost more important than the look of it, because sound is when it sounds good. It's So if you get someone messing up, maybe they're full palming it when you're not supposed to do that on a boom mic, because it, like, your heartbeat can go through it. It creates all this. You want a fingertip and you can roll and just do all this and then know where to point it. That's like so I just put it on a C-stand, boomed it over, and then just did everything. And I'm 90% of the film, more than that, 90% of the film, the camera is on a tripod. We use that Steadicam system with the gimbal, one shot. Everything else is handheld, tripod.
Yeah, and that's I noticed too. Like, I
love this.
I think it was one. I forgot what shot it was exactly, but like I could tell it was a tripod shot, but then you kind of like scaling it in as well. Adding movement.
Yeah. I had to zoom and things, but it's like so
with a director too.
Yeah, it's so subtle on the digital crop and zooms and things that, like, you're not going. It's just a little like this.
But it's giving that movement. Yeah,
it's just enough to make you feel like it. Maybe it is on a dolly. I don't know. But
manipulation.
Yeah, right. Them dollies, man. That's what I want to. I bought one. And then they canceled the order because it was Pro-Am quit fulfilling everyone's order for the year. So I ended up getting, it was a doorway dolly, like a 300-pound doorway dolly that I ordered. So instead I got the whole gimbal rig.
But you said that on the pod last time. I just put a clip up because I was watching it one day, and it was just like, man, you got to, like, trick the camera.
Yeah, you got to trick the camera, man. Doesn't matter what we're looking at. As long as whatever's in this little rectangle.
Like the camera is your eye.
Yep, that's all. Whatever's out here, no one needs to know. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. But, it's... and with this one, it seemed like it was pretty simple as far as cinematography. Like,
I wish I could just do straight tripod shots.
Yeah, I love them. Yeah. A lot of people really like gimbal because they think that that's what makes something cinematic. But what they forget is, like, I always compare movies to, like, paintings. Like, a painting, someone's making a painting on a canvas. You're not going to use one brush. You have a thin brush, a thicker brush, or whatever. The thick brush is your gimbal. Okay, well, then you got your thin brush. That's this, and you speckle it in to create an emotion. So if you want super locked down, maybe you woke up in the middle of the night and you're like, I heard something. So imagine what you're looking at. Everything's still.
Right.
You're not moving through a room. Everything's locked down. So any little movement, you're going to catch that. And so, like, I like to add a lot of just still static shots.
And the still shots give it give a feeling, obviously a feeling to it, whether it's build a suspense and everything, which I know you say you did a lot of that too.
So on set with help, I had Cody Stiltner. He also acted in it as well. So pretty much everybody aside from myself.
What did Cody do? Did I see that?
No, he's not even in the trailer. So so the story's told about people sitting around the campfire. See that shirt? Are You Afraid of the Dark? We were a little inspired from that. We wanted to add a little campfire story to it.
Got it.
But yeah, he's one of those characters in it. But he ran the first day of shooting, which is all the scariest, most intense physical day. He was there along with his girlfriend Sydney Lockhart.
Yeah.
And she did BTS, like all the behind the scenes things that we got to collect.
Yeah, I think you showed me that too.
And she was the stand-in mom.
She
So
played
like
the mother,
there was a mom that wasn't in the film, but it was pictured. So like, hey, we're just gonna take this Polaroid pic. We're gonna snap you with everybody, like the actors and your mom that's not here.
Detail, man. That's what
Detail, yeah. And then Artez Abbott, he the one dude, he also played the one character I showed you in there. And then he
I
also
ain't saying shit.
and on the one, and then he also on one of the shoot days for when there was like they're talking about the story when they're on the campfire. He helped out on slating. He helped build the fire. He contributed.
Yeah.
And,
Small cast, but everybody kind of just played a
we're
role.
all doing different things.
So like actors were grips. Actors were
man,
costume.
like
He's if it really came down to it, our names would be on this credit list 20 times.
Nah,
dude, I know they make fun of that in the world. So I'm like, man, look, like because he did wardrobe.
It seems like I turn into wardrobe.
Yeah, he's props. He has all the props in his house, wardrobes, locations. You know, this is the dude.
And it was cold that day, and then people were like, "It's really cold out there. Can I get a coat?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got like 50."
Like big winter coats. Like, which one you want?
So
right.
Just choose which one you want. And
So we got props and just coats on deck for people that need them, whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When we got to him about when we had to buy all these props. Hold on.
His face.
Okay, so it was like we shot our first day on February 14th. It was the first day of shooting, but we had to get a couple props prior, a couple days before, and what we needed, without giving away what it was used for, I won't say, but we had to buy a stuffed animal, right? Because and we had to buy makeup, and this was like Valentine's Day weekend.
I'm about to say it's Valentine's Day,
and we're going in there buying pink, bright stuffed animals, makeup, asking old ladies like, "Hey, how do you match foundations?" I don't know.
We didn't know what we were doing.
I don't know what I was doing. I was trying to find it because like I didn't want to drive the Fairborn and go to Foy's Halloween shop just to get the stuff I need. That's open all year round. Shout out Foy's. Mike at Foy's. It's we did that, and this is really funny and awkward. Everyone was looking at us. I'm like, hey, it's 2024, man. Get over it.
Right, yeah. Like, bro, accept me for what?
Get over it.
Yeah.
We're filming a movie. What kind of movie? None of your business.
Right.
And he's acting in it.
Yeah.
That's the shit. That's the shit to take. And like you said, you going there, you making it work just from going to the store and just buying that rather than going to the damn.
Yeah.
Bringing out extra creativity when you do that, though.
And we gotta give praise to the people that consulted with us, because there's a couple. Like you had your Aunt Kelly.
Oh yeah.
What studio? What was it? Like what? She worked on a bunch of stuff. Like
she used to do some
All American Reject
commercials,
music video, like the big time car commercials that you see, like a Hyundai commercial, and they're driving through like the mud and there's really high end looks. Didn't they do a Super Bowl commercial?
That was quite some time ago. It was like when the Bulls were like running through. Gosh, I think it's Italy or something.
I remember that.
Where they're like running away
what
from
brand
the
was
Bulls.
that?
But it's a car. I don't know. It's been like probably 10 years ago. So
I
couldn't tell you now.
so she was just in the industry of it. She didn't act or anything.
No.
She was a producer. Like she was the financing side.
Yeah, she's like a financer.
Like she handled the accounts, like an accountant type deal.
But this is the person that when y'all got done with the first edit,
she watched it. She was one of the ones.
We were like, critique the heck.
Because she's seen.
Tell us everything.
Because she would fund and get these projects together, and she would judge it by how good that director did before they put it up in some major television network. So I'm like, well, tell me what you think of this. And she never mentioned anything about quality, which is like, if that's okay, because biggest thing that most filmmakers, and I was guilty, everyone cares about what gear. Well, no wonder that movie looked good. Look what you shot it on. That's not always the case. But people get real hyped up about how it looks, and they don't look at the story. And I'm like, man, people get. I'm guilty. I love a crispy looking shot.
Hey, nah, bro. For like, I'm obviously in a respectful way, as an independency of it though, the shit looks immaculate.
Thank you.
Like,
so she had
drop a gem on what you used.
Yeah, well, she just didn't. She didn't mention anything about quality, and all I saw she had was a couple notes on the story plot that she wanted to add in. I'm like, all right, works. We'll do that as soon as we get back, because we were in Florida on a little vacay.
Yeah.
And then we came back, we finished it, and I asked her how the quality. She's like, oh, the quality's great. The quality's amazing. It's fine. Like it wasn't noticeable, so it didn't stick out, which means that's good.
What camera you use?
I used a Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro G2, the 4.6K, like the newest one. That's not the 12K one. I don't mess with that. 12K. What am I doing? Shooting
Nah,
Transformers?
but that and the lighting though. Yo,
Yeah,
so-
lighting. I use tungsten Fresnels, man. The hot lights that are old schools.
Oh, yeah,
And they will blow your breaker box if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I
So-
love those.
So, as far as like for her critiquing it,
Mm-hmm.
what was one of your biggest takeaways that you maybe you didn't know or learn or like?
Actually, the one part the one thing she told us was when you think you're giving something away to the audience, you're not. So don't be afraid to help establish a story because we didn't want to put something in the beginning of the story to establish because we thought it would give it away. And at the end, she's like, "No, people don't know what the hell this is."
So it's one of them.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it's like somebody might be watching, like, why the fuck was that right there, or why? Where does this?
It's
out?
It needed something. Yeah, it just needed a little more development of where we were, like setting. That was the thing we were lacking. No one really knew where we were, so we made this generic sign that said Indian Park Reserve.
Yeah,
that was it. We didn't want to give it a name. We were going to film like a Twawa Park sign, like locally. I'm like, it's a state park. I don't know if I want to do that. So we just and hand painted it and aged it with torches and made it look like it's old.
All right, so after and y'all added that in when everything was done already.
Yeah.
So when y'all actually implemented that in there and then y'all watched it back, how big of a different impact was it?
Oh, dude, it really was
It's good.
nuts.
Because it lets people know like where you're at. Like, wait, where is this at? Like, is this on the farm or is this on this land?
Yeah.
Which the farm is on the border of the land.
At the Indian Reserve
So
Park.
it's just letting people know location.
And Skinwalker is
pretty
like
much.
Indian like folklore.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So that's why y'all chose to make it like that.
Yeah, Skinwalkers
We'll call it
are.
that.
So it's kind of weird. Like the story of how it normally is. That Skinwalkers, I don't think, are meant to traditionally mimic humans. However, they would mimic animals and things like that. And it's supposed to be bad spirits. And I want to say maybe Navajo, but I can't remember. I looked it up. I have a whole press kit about what it is. It's a Navajo thing, and we just changed it up to where it mimics people and humans that you know and love that try to convince you to come somewhere, which is I just gave it away, but who cares, dude? It's a good movie. Watch it. It doesn't matter. Like it is given away. The whole thing's called Skinwalker,
sure
and
y'all
in the
check it
trailer
out.
she goes, "Dad." I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that it's I think it's worth a watch, and the Navajo way of doing it, we just changed it a little up, and we wanted to put that in there because it was a trending thing going on TikTok, and it still could very well may be coming up again this Halloween. I'm sure I'll see something. And what was that? We had another person that looked at it. He was not from Ohio. He's from out of state. I want to say he's Georgia. And one of my actor friends gave me his contact because he's a writer as well. And he's like, you should let him watch this. And he watched it. And his biggest takeaway was that he wished there was more conflict between the father and the daughter. They seemed too happy. Not everything's perfect. That was his thing. On that part, I disagreed, but I could see where he's going with that.
Yeah.
That he wanted more conflict.
I can see that.
But it's okay. It's a 17-minute episode.
I'm about to say.
I mean, it is.
Like, if it was like hour long plus, like,
you compressing the meaning already into like 17 minutes. What was the initial time duration?
Yeah. Okay, so here we are. I talked about this before we started.
Yeah.
And okay, so we had this theory that apps and short videos in the short form like YouTube, TikTok, all those has affected attention spans of everybody. And I'm guilty, dude. I cannot watch. If I'm home and I'm watching a movie, I end up pulling my phone out. Next thing I'm on TikTok. Like, what?
Nah, yeah, for real.
And so I'm assuming, I'm like, well, you know what? Our age demographic we were going for, originally we were going for like PG, borderline PG-13. That was our original demographic, ages 10 through 14. And
It makes sense for that type.
yeah.
Style, like, which I represent, like where y'all got the idea from.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And when we had our test audience come and watch it, they said it was they loved it, but they said it was too short and they wish there was more more stuff. I'm like, damn, okay. And so we shot it as 11 minutes because traditionally on television, cartoons come in 30-minute slots, 2 episodes. With commercials is 22 minutes, right, on TV. Split that in half. 2 Courage the Cowardly Dog episodes is 11 minutes each. 11 minutes. So we went 11 minutes. That's what we were going. And
The first initial screening was only 11 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was like a cartoon.
Short.
Okay.
All right, I got it.
Short. And so we were going to make 2 shorts, 1 episode. So we'd have 2 separate 11-minute things like a cartoon.
Yeah.
We would get 2 episodes of Ed, Ed, and Eddie, but it's in 22 minutes because the commercial was 2 episodes, 11 minutes each. That's what was the format originally. And so although we couldn't get the milk to 20 to 22 that we wanted because we wrote the story to be 11, we felt a good scene to add and we saw it with like the trees going, and he was out in the forest.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah,
that was the scene we added from when he walked out the door and shut the door.
Yeah.
That's when that added. Otherwise, it was gonna cut right back to her like waking up. Like it was.
Oh shit!
So it was gonna be all that was gonna be missing.
Yeah.
It was just gonna be her waking up.
We like kind of
That was great. That was a great add.
So we added a little bit of tiny drops of blood and added some crude imagery, you know, and that was enough to kind of bring it up that PG-13, you know, whatever. Add some little bit of more what's going on, and it shows what happens to everybody in the script. And I just needed, and that was justifiable. But anything else we would have added to that, it would have been milking for minutes, and it would have been a boring waste of time. And I feel like people would have sensed that. So I'm like, we can go for 22 minutes just for the sake of 22 minutes. Or we can add this scene to where we feel if it lands on 20 to 22, sweet. But if it lands on 16, 17, well, that's okay.
Y'all still make it. I noticed that too. Like a lot of just from what I've seen, a lot of the shots are calculated and make sense. Like, so
everything.
So when I watch the whole thing, like you already said, but it's not gonna really be no dead spots. If you really like or somebody that's into something, you're gonna keep your eyes glued to the TV. That's what I'm getting the vibe of this. Like everything is gonna mean something leading into it.
We wanted.
I'm assuming the dog got a huge part.
Huge
Okay.
part.
So like,
what's the term they always tell people like low budgets? Don't work with kids and animals, and don't shoot at night because nighttime's big budget. You need a bunch of lights.
Nah, facts.
And kids are you can only be on set legally for like 6 hours, I think, something like that total. Is it 6?
With that dog,
it depends on the age.
It's like 4 to 6 hours, something like that.
My homegirl I was working with, they call it pumpkin time, and I think she had under 18. I think it's under like 10 hours.
Under 16 is like
it's like 4,
I think it's 6.
It might be 6.
Yeah, I think it's
I know
6,
an infant is like a day.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe like a few hours.
Like
she gave me the whole
30 minutes an hour. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So I believe I looked it up through like the different what is it, SAG after stuff. I was looking at all the rules, and it was 6 hours, and I think she only shot for 4 hours. 1 hour of just rehearsals plus
so
the hour.
I'm sorry, wait. So y'all really went with the guidelines with her too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's respect for
Because
that.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like you don't, because the moment you start bending rules and you start getting too comfortable operating outside of them rules, once you get to something big and major, you're gonna feel so out of place, and you might realize you can't do something in a certain amount of time because of these rules. So if I want to be efficient for someone that's gonna put $100 million on the table, I want to make sure I'm efficient legally for them.
Definitely.
Because that means I'm ready to go. You know, like I'm gonna lock in. So we did it as best we could. So obviously with these guys now, fuck them. I'm just kidding.
Nah, but that's how they yo 6 a.m. That's when we ended.
Oh man,
hour to sleep.
All right, now we gotta.
No, we did that with the Deep, an
clean up
original
now.
film we did a long time ago. We had a 16-hour day, dude.
Oh, and it was freaking.
And then
hot.
it was a night shoot, so we
Yeah.
filmed all through the night till the sun came up to get. We're in the middle of the woods, dude. Everything's in the woods, man. What the?
I don't know. It's
Y'all
just what we
owning up
do.
to y'all liking?
Well, you know what it
Horror
is?
Shit.
His family always lived back in the woods, and when I was a
Yeah.
kid, I'd come over and we always filmed all of our little VHS short films in the woods. And I think we're just really good at filming woods.
I mean, it's already a playground for movies. Like
It is.
Yeah, it does.
The set is there. Man.
Yeah,
You can do
always.
it. You can do anything.
That's another.
That was
level.
a sketchy. You can do anything.
No. There's an inside joke to this that we used to like always get hyped up over video games or something like open sandbox games. I was like, dude, you can do anything.
Like Tony Hawk.
And then obviously we were
Tony Hawk's
bullshitting. Like you can't do
Pro, like-
anything.
Yeah.
But
You can do anything.
you can do anything, dude. So then we get to this little, I'll get this camera. Like, dude, this camera's so good you could almost do anything. Look, it does sound.
It is an inside joke.
Yeah, it's just
No,
us.
I get it.
Yeah,
I'm included on the inside.
yeah,
joke.
you got it. Yeah, no, we have a couple of those inside jokes. Like I researched, it's one of them.
Nah.
Yeah, the dog. She was quite the trooper with.
Okay,
this.
so that's talk about the dog.
All right. Yeah. So
I'm taking a swig of bamboo.
There it is.
I don't know if Wiz Khalifa, but try bamboo. It's made with Caribbean authentic recipes. Okay.
Product placement.
Sponsors.
No, so the dog. That's my dog, and she listens most of the time. But like, I don't know. She just did so good with this because she was actually listening that day, and that was the day we were out in the sun too. So she kept following me. I'm like, all right, come back. We got to go back to Mark 1. She actually did it.
She
I'm
listens
like,
very
why
good,
are you-
and she
why are you
repeats the
listening
same
to
thing
me
over
right
and
now?
over.
She
Yes,
actually knew what
yeah.
she was doing.
So aside from the barks and everything, obviously we added all that in.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
she
I was gonna,
She has like a violent scene. That was tough.
Yeah. Well, we don't talk about it.
know, I gotta- yeah,
but anyways,
yeah.
there was this, in the part where
That
you
was
watch where
tough.
she like growls. So obviously we added that in, but we were running around all day doing them drone shots, getting the whole establishment and walking through the forest. And by the end of that, she was tongue hanging out, just going. I'm like, man, I just gotta have her shut her mouth once to get so I can get that
solid
shot.
shot.
Like, what's that? And it just timed out perfect. At this point, we're getting 4 or 5 takes in. Like, damn man, I don't know if we can get this. Because she would start walking off, she's tired, and then I don't know her in the distance, a neighbor dog barks, and she's. And I was so hyped up. I was like,
that's when I was like, that's it, we got it.
we got it, we're
Pack
good.
it up. We're leaving.
We're out of here. Yeah.
Oh, that was like the last shot too. Like,
Oh, that was the last
Yeah,
shot of that day.
yeah.
Yes, that was the last shot of that day.
Yeah,
that
that's
scene
where
where
they
like
get
the whole
drinks.
like the whole chase thing, that was 2 separate days.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So the whole phone call, walk around, going through the forest, finding the stuff. That was and her and the growling part. That was one day. Even though the scene that she was growling at, we filmed a separate day.
Yeah.
So it was like,
I'm really surprised she
Yeah, you
didn't
broke
get
it up
freaked
like
out by the
crazy.
drone, honestly. Like,
no, that's that shot where she's
insane.
walking through and it's like looks like I'm on some Steadicam. That's a drone I'm right down her ass with.
oh, word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
that
almost
drone
all
loud
those
as
shots.
fuck
And
already.
she's very protective. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just surprised.
She was
didn't
probably
actually try to-
on it.
she
And
was
I
with the
would've felt bad
energy,
for old
man.
boy if his drone got destroyed.
No, it's insured.
Okay.
Oh, what you fuck? Yeah, he
Yeah,
already
it's
said.
insured, dude,
I
for
care about my
sure.
drones, but still, I
I have an insurance policy.
wrecked 3 of them. I'm like, man, I can't do this shit again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. At one point, your rates will start going up. Like, yeah.
Yeah, fast.
I hold on to them insurance policies so I can shoot almost anywhere. You know, so I got like
Nah, that
this and
makes
that, like
sense.
bodily, like in case one gets hurt, and then property damage one. So I can go to like historic areas where you can't film here. You gotta have here it is.
Shit, right. Right
But
next to the airport.
yeah. Oh man. Okay. So
Yo.
that clearance would be nuts.
Nah,
trying to get a drone.
yeah. I gotta go to New York. I'm gonna see if they let me fly my drone there. I heard it's
Yeah,
pretty
because we got
fucking-
our part 107 licenses and shit. I
Yeah,
just did
there
the
you
wrong
go.
Eyeball,
Yeah,
dude.
we get down.
Yeah, we got our part 107s.
anything.
Right, we got our licenses for the drones.
Credentials is
yeah,
ready.
we cutting that out.
Yeah,
Dude.
no. But we make shit work however we
Yeah.
need to make it work.
Yep. So I mean, I don't even know what was your heart? What was the challenge? I mean, I don't know if you had.
The biggest challenge for me?
Yeah.
Honestly, the physical part, which I enjoyed that the most.
Oh my god! I got
What
behind
was
the scenes
this?
of him eating
So
shit.
there's some behind the scenes of me just totally eating
Eating shit, dude. Lil had to go on an all out sprint,
There's a chase scene
and
where
he
I'm chasing
he falls
someone
kind of
and,
close to a cliff.
Oh, you mean so you fell in the shit?
Like he was running. We did like
Well,
so many different takes.
I didn't fall in actual.
Well,
shit.
still, but
yeah,
the
I-
look of it,
I
dude,
fell
he
down
fell.
pretty
He
hard.
need the right
and-
fall.
He fell so hard he hit his chest, and on the camera you see him bounce up off the ground like this. He hit so hard.
It
was
felt we
funny,
did
dude.
Was you
20
petty
takes.
enough to make him do it again on purpose?
No, yeah, we did 2 more takes after that.
I thought we did like 20 takes.
No, we did 9.
It was only like 9 takes. For me, it felt like 20 or 30 takes. I'm like, hey, man, are we done yet?
Yeah, I'm a little woozy. No,
No, that's when I realized I was like, man, I'm out of shape. I can't keep up with this 12-year-old.
Dude.
So,
Yeah,
I bit it pretty hard there.
Oh, I was about to.
I felt that
and it was
in the
really
morning.
cool. He had to have his shoes off the whole time for the character because his
Okay,
shoes were-
yeah.
there's a lot.
Oh,
You need to
yeah.
watch it.
So
that-
it was cold.
That sounds like your most difficult thing. You was just out there in the
Physically.
physically, yeah. You
Yeah, that was actually like
when,
the hardest thing. for
Leonardo
me.
DiCaprio, damn near.
And it was I felt bad for her because we had to do some takes where continuity, you know, like her outfit, she didn't have a coat on.
Yeah.
And she runs
Yeah.
out, and the day we shot just happened to be like 38 degrees outside.
Cold as
And so every time we'd do a take, I'd tell her, go inside and get in the heat. Like immediately. Even if
Yeah.
it's just for a 1 minute. Like I'm gonna move the camera here, I'm gonna change the lens, go inside and take a couple
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
And
So, like, the
she sounded like
house-
a good ass trooper too. Though.
oh yeah, she is,
Oh,
dude.
definitely.
I mean,
Yeah.
theater. I mean, dude, theater stage acting is pretty hard. I mean, imagine you gotta know an hour plus long play, every line, every mark. You know, it's a
Yeah.
lot of mental stress as well as, you know,
But
just,
and like you said, that worked in your favor. 'Cause
Yeah.
you could break it down to her in a way it's like, oh yeah, she got it.
Charlie Kirtner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period.
She definitely knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
All right, man. So let's talk about the release when it's coming out, man, and you know, just your expectations of it.
If we don't win everything, fuck. I'm just kidding. No, no, it's not. Yeah, no, definitely.
Nah,
not
you
that.
good.
So my expectation, what we think, well, see, we submitted it, we put it in. It's coming out on Horror Hound Weekend in Cincinnati. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I haven't.
So it's kind of like a Comic-Con convention.
Are y'all like it's something I can go to? I'll go with y'all.
Oh yeah, yeah.
hell
It's a Comic-Con convention type deal, but it's for horror. So it's a real big event in Cincinnati. A lot of people come. A lot of celebrities are going to be there. So Robert Englund, who played Freddy Krueger, is going to be there. Cole
they
Sprouse, for some
coming
reason, is
out.
going to be there. What was he in? Why is he there?
Cole
Sprouse.
Well, he was
said,
in
"Why
the
is he
Disney
there?"
show, and then he played the kid in Big Daddy.
Yeah, but what was he there?
Why is he there?
Is it Frankenstein or something? He's in a new Frankenstein movie, I think.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, so he's
kept
there
up with him for a while. I know Skeet Ulrich is going to be there.
The dude from Riverdale.
He played Scream, like the original Scream.
Oh yeah, he played Scream. Yeah, the character.
So I'm like, man, cool.
Yeah, the last few years they've had people like the person who played Jason, like I think Rob Zombie's been out there. There's a lot of people out there. And I don't know if they're going to be in the screening room. However, they're there in the event and like the celebrity room for pictures, just like how Comic-Con would be.
Yeah,
they make announcements on new films. They have people who make the famous masks that you've seen through your childhood. They're there. They have a bunch of different things, food vendors. It's just a big huge event.
So it's premiering there first.
Yeah, it's premiering in Ohio there. Yeah, so we had a premiere in LA at a Independent Shorts festival, and actually that is where Charlie won the silver award for best child actress.
Dope.
Out there in LA, which means she has the chance, if she wins her full category with everyone else out of the silver, if she gets the gold for that, she gets to walk the red carpet in September 2025 for the Independent Shorts Awards for the horror section or something.
Nah, that's deep. That's dope.
That's a good one. Yeah, that was the first. That was the first thing we got. Was that, or well, she got, but as a team, we were able to collect some hardware on, and that was, and then it was on another small brief festival in New York City, but it was just more of a. It was called Pitch to Screen. It was just something where they would put it on like eventive.org and people can spend an absurd amount of money to watch it, which is, I didn't agree. I didn't know that wasn't in the fine print, but I found out the way. But either way, people were able to watch it for, I honestly told them, I'll just send you the YouTube link. If you really want. If it's our friends, I'm like, don't spend that to watch that. And they killed the quality. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Pitch to Screen. Like, you need to work on that, man. You're going to charge people $10 to watch a 17-minute short.
Yeah, I don't know many people.
And the quality looks like, and it busts.
Not even Prime Video.
Well, it busts it down to like 360p, dude.
Oh yeah.
It was like, what the? I was upset, so I did not want anyone to go watch it there.
Nah, I get it.
So, but I'm glad that this is before we knew we were going to Horror Hound. This has been something that I've told him about this. I've been wanting to get into Horror Hound for years now, and it's really hard. I mean, you're thousands of submissions. They only pick about 20 to 25 to actually screen there, and it has to be something of something, because you got all these big names of people there, and people expect to see something, and it's just like the local, not necessarily local. I think it's international, but they get to see like the next young group of coming up doing independent shorts.
The new creative,
so there is a caliber. There's a bar you have to reach. In order to get there. I knew my last one I didn't reach it, but I mean, they were kind enough. They put it on like they call it a Horror Hound Rewind, which was an online version a month later, where people can just watch a bunch of stuff they didn't quite make. It's screen cut.
They still showing love, at least.
Oh yeah, it's a great. And this is my first time even attending, so I'm super excited. And the Robert Englund's gonna be there. The Freddy Krueger.
I wouldn't mind going with y'all. I'm a supporter.
Yeah. That'd be a good time. I can send you those. There's a link I can send you for like the filmmaker passes.
Nah, let's do it. Anything else I want to catch them up on or anything?
It's Horror Hound. Silhouette will premiere on Saturday. Not Saturday. I'm gonna rewind this.
Friday.
So Horror Hound weekend in Cincinnati on September 14th. Silhouette will premiere. Ohio premiere there. It's at that block that we're on. It's called the Creature Carnage block. It's from 10 a.m. to 12:30, or 11 a.m. to 12:30. So it's just a certain block, because they only have certain times a day they would show films. The rest are different events at the actual convention.
Okay.
This
is AM to PM, not like horror times.
Yeah. The feature films they show after hours, and usually it's a private event.
Got it.
Yeah. So ours is from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. It'll be screened during that block, so you want to get there before then. And Horror Hound weekend.
Dropping the links down there for y'all to tap.
Cincinnati, Ohio, definitely. Once you look it up, it's a lot of talk. A lot of people attend that place. So
I'm going.
It's cool, man. That's it, man. Silhouette, first episode of Night Terrors. We got 18 more to do.
I'm a part of them coming up too,
I'm
y'all.
gonna get you involved, man. I'm getting you involved. You have to.
But man, I appreciate y'all coming on the platform, speaking about it. Make sure y'all attend if y'all can. And goddamn it, more work on the way. Dreamers Welcome Podcast. Y'all keep dreaming. We out.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast.